Hello, what's up everyone? This is Gideon Nwani, a.k.a. Pablo Castro PR. You're now tuned in to the last episode for Chat with Pablo Castro Season 2. In this episode, my guest is Chilu Lemba. He's a voiceover actor and more. And our topic is a voiceover actor the same as a voiceover artist? So make sure you stay tuned to the last part of this episode to gain information and also be entertained. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. You can become a member of this podcast from at least $1 monthly on Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. Check the links in our description for more. Follow us on Instagram at TMAE Podcast. You can follow me, the host, at Pablo Castrogram. So guys, hang in there. Stay with me to that part and let us enjoy and gain information from this episode. So let's head on to that call with Chilu Lemba. Yeah guys, you're still hanging out with your favorite boy Pablo Castro PR, and I'm live on this finale episode for season 2 with Chilu Lemba. Woo!
Thank you.
How you doing, brother? What's up? Go ahead, introduce yourself, and let's go on from there. Thank you.
Pablo Castro PR and your audience. My name is Chilu Lemba. I'm a voiceover actor mostly, and I'm based in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm originally from Zambia.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I did a little digging inside, on Google and everything, and I found out you used to be a Zambian radio presenter. Are you still that, or you used to be?
That's where my journey started. So in 1996, I was a radio presenter in Zambia at a radio station called Radio Phoenix. And I was there for about 3 years or so. It was a very good and enjoyable run. And then I decided to move to South Africa to study. So I moved to Joburg to study advertising, and that course was 3 years long. And after the 3 years, one thing led to another. And so I ended up staying, and this is now 22 years in Joburg or so. So yeah, the radio side of me is long past.
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, no, let's move on. Thank you. So yeah, what is life like in SC, like South Africa, the life? We hear everything happening, we too want to go there one day and chop life, the Johannesburg, the Gauteng, those places. Tell us, what is it like?
Johannesburg, the city of gold. Well, it depends on what you want out of life. For work and opportunities in media and entertainment and advertising, this is like the epicenter. I mean, we've just come from having the Lurie Awards, which is like the top advertising awards festival and awards event in Cape Town. I came back yesterday from there. And it goes to show you that in terms of advertising and communication, South Africa is like right up there. They compete with Europe and the Middle East and the rest of Africa. So if that's what you're into, then this is the space you want to be like. And then in terms of life in general, it depends on what lane you're in. It can be fast paced, or you could take it easier as well. So it's a nice place. I
awesome.
Enjoyed
my
time.
Thank you so much. We'll be there one day. Are you an author still? Like, do you still release books for people to read, online?
Yes,
or anywhere?
I mean it's one of those things. I like the title of author, but in my case, so far I've put out one book called Finding My Voice, which has done well. We did a paperback version, we did a Kindle version, and we also did an audiobook, which I read. It's 7 hours long, and so that's the one book that it makes me an author. But hopefully, as time goes on, I'll be able to add more books. But it's a lot of work. I mean, putting together a book, that one book took us about maybe 7 years or so to put everything together. Yeah, so it's very involving, very time consuming. Maybe on the next book, because of the fact that in some sort of rhythm, it will take a shorter time. But writing a book isn't an easy thing. Let no one fool you. Writing a book is a lot.
Man. How about that compared to, first off, let's clap for you. Thank you so much, first of all. Yeah, so now, how do you now add music to these things you do? Because I see you are also a musician. I check your videos on YouTube. You have music there, and those sounds are good. Like I really enjoyed me hearing them from someone who is a voiceover actor. You know, what's up with the music, Alpha?
So, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed doing the music. The music started before I did voiceover. So before voiceover, before radio, before the author thing, there was music. And so I always, go back to music regardless of where my journey takes me. And so, that's kind of been how we've been doing it. I've had some success with some songs that I've done particularly well over the past 20 years. And every time I get an itch, I go into studio, especially now that we own a studio ourselves. So it's easier to just kind of record the vocals, come up with ideas, send them to guys that I collaborate with. And before you know it, the song is ready and ripe for radio.
Awesome.
So I still enjoy doing music. I don't do as much of it as I should, but I enjoy doing music.
All right. Thank you. It has been fun on the show already, and we've not gotten to the topic yet, guys, because this is still interesting for sure, and we want to keep you guys tuned in. We're still here to talk about, is a voiceover actor the same as a voiceover artist? Before we go to that now, one more time, guys, I'm sorry. This is a finale, and I want it to be very interesting and fun for you guys. That's what's up. So keep listening, keep watching. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to this episode right now. It is very entertaining and informative for you. So, Chilu. Yeah, I have this thing I do. I put my guests on the spot sometimes. I tell them this or that. They choose one. You tell me. So are you ready?
Okay.
All right. This
or
that. All right. This or that right now. I'm sure you listen to podcasts like a lot, right?
Yeah.
So if you are listening to podcasts, I'm giving you this now, Spotify, and then this, Apple Podcast. Which one would you drop?
For me, it's Spotify right now, but you know what I've been doing recently? Before you clap.
Yeah.
I've been listening to podcasts on AfriPods. I don't know if you've been checking. Yeah, because AfriPods has some very good, unique African content. And so that's one platform I'm enjoying. But with your this and that, it's going to be Spotify.
All right. Thank you so much. I use AfriPods too. My podcast is also there. I have my podcast on all RSS feeds. Like anywhere there's RSS to put in and plug my my link, I put it there and it's available there. So AfriPods is new and it is sharing that African story to everyone out there, in the world to listen. So thank you very much and shout out to AfriPods. I follow them and I'll be sharing a snippet of this for them to see. So guys, you're hanging out with your favorite boy Pablo Castro PR and Mr. Chilu Lemba on this one, and our topic for today is a voiceover actor the same as a voiceover artist? But let's first ask, our friend here, Mr. Chilu, what is voiceover? Please explain. Thank you.
So voiceover, usually when you are listening to radio and then there is a proposition put forward. So like maybe you're driving, you're listening to radio, and then all of a sudden you hear about like a storm, like maybe Pep. Pep wants to tell you how much their new deals on clothes are. The person who does that, records that and has it on the radio, that whole process is called voiceover. Same thing on TV when you're watching a TV ad and then you hear a voice which is either sharing an announcement or selling something. That process is called voiceover. And it's in many places. Sometimes you don't even think about the fact that it's voiceover. So maybe you phone a hotel and they're like operating hours Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's voiceover. Stadium, sometimes you hear an announcement before a football game starts. That's voiceover. So voiceover as a process is in many platforms, in many disciplines, but in a nutshell, hopefully that makes sense to somebody who's never heard of voiceover.
All right, thank you. All right, now let's go to this one. What makes a good voiceover actually? Like, because I've tried, I'll not lie, low-key, I know I sound nice, on the microphone and tell me over a voice note or something, and I tend to try and do that. Hey guys, you know how to do it. I don't get serious, I don't know. That is where the wala is, So what makes a good voiceover? Please tell us, enlighten us.
I think it's just a person who understands what needs to be communicated and does their best to communicate that. So, I mean, like you've been just talking now about the fun side of it. So maybe if there was a very excitable promotion, then Pablo Castro PR might be your guy, because you're all about fun and you're all about that vibe.
Yeah.
Then there might be an opportunity sometimes later on where maybe a company has a product which is more serious, and you might also find success in that. You just have to understand what it is that's being communicated, and then do your best to fit into what's required of you in terms of the feel, in terms of how it's being branded, etc. Because if it's for, I'm trying to think of, if it's for an oil company, and maybe the piece of communication is about how within one region that oil company is looking after the communities in that region, then it's going to have to be a heartfelt read, so it will be ex Madhouse Oil is looking after the communities in Port Harcourt or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Whereas it won't be Madhouse Oil is looking after communities in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's you have to just figure out where it needs to be pitched, and then do your best to fall into that slipstream so that you communicate in tandem with what the brand stands for. Hopefully that makes sense to you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Now, do we need an education? Like, do you need to go to a school or be part of a class to be perfect at this voiceover talent ish?
I don't think you need to necessarily go to a school or a college. A lot of people, especially overseas, they'll do a course which is to do with like drama, so like a dramatic arts course or something like that. But generally, if you get a coach, or if you just kind of watch a lot of TV or whatever and get ideas as to how you can be better, that should do the trick. Especially now there's like YouTube and there are a lot of videos where you can learn from other artists, and so I don't think you need to specifically go to a school, but you need to, like in my case, I think I've become better at it now because I did 3 years at advertising school. So when I get a script, sometimes my third eye is looking at what the strategy is behind this script and so on, and I think that helps me. Then I also used to act, I used to be in a drama club when I was a kid, so that kind of also comes, to the front of my mind when I'm doing voiceover. So I think that if you're in between those worlds, then you should be okay. I don't think you necessarily. I don't even think there's a voiceover school as yet. Maybe we should make one, but at the moment I don't think there is.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So now the topic. Now, is a voiceover actor the same as a voiceover artist? Is there any difference or any similarity, you can share with us, please?
Yeah. For me, I think it's just technicalities. I mean, it's just, the way one describes it, because I've heard people describe it either way. So my position is, if you call somebody a voiceover artist, a voiceover actor, a voiceover guy, for me, it's the same thing, Technically, when it's described, they say voiceover is the process through which these things are created. But for me, it's neither here nor there. It's like saying you're a singer or you're a vocalist, or they're just different terms that embody the same spirit or the same thing, the same vocation or whatnot. So I wouldn't really make too much of it. I wouldn't kind of get caught up in definitions, because at the same time, if I say, Pablo Castro is a voiceover artist, or he's a voice actor, or he does voiceover, people will know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's my feeling.
All right, thank you. So guys, you heard it already from Chilu Lemba, but before he goes right now, I want him to give an advice.
Okay.
I'm sure there's probably a newbie watching this right now, trying to learn the ropes and know if they are the same thing. What kind of advice would you give to that newbie on this episode?
So the first thing I'd say is listen to my podcast. Called the Voiceover Plug. You should have a sound effect for that. Listen to my podcast. uh, but the first episode talks about how to get into the industry, and so that's why I think it would be useful. But generally, if people are telling you that you've got a good voice, then maybe there's something there, especially if it's somebody who's in the industry telling you that, you know, you could make money from your voice, then you should seriously consider it. But also don't think of it as something that you're going to just be doing for fun to make money on the side, because there's a whole lot of time and monetary investment that goes into seriously being a contender in the voiceover space. But if you do play your cards right, and if you are serious enough, it's very rewarding. So, you know, I'd encourage you to get as much knowledge as you can, and if you've got the chops, as they say, then you will do well.
Awesome. Thank you. Great one, man. So, guys, we've come to the last part of the show. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Follow us on Instagram at TMAE Podcast. You can follow me, the host, at Pablo Castro, and please follow Chilu Lemba. Please call out your social media handles for them to go on to follow you and, you know, become a fan of yours and, you know, stream your stuff and patronize you. Let's go.
So it's Chilu Lemba on everything, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter. Which other one is there? And then my website is chilulemba.com.
Awesome.
So yeah, you can check me out on all those platforms.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Big love to you, man. We appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for coming out on this episode. We appreciate you. So, guys, it is a wrap, guys, and this is the finale of this season. I hope I come back with the season 3 and, you know, wow you guys. But for now, I want you to always stream the music shows I'm going to be focusing on, you know, for you guys, and entertain you on other shows. So make sure you touch that bell notification right now so it notifies you whenever there's a new episode. Check the links in our description for more. You can become a member of this podcast from at least $1 on Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. Just check it out, you know, do the needful, and God bless you guys. Till the next time, I'll see you in the next video. For me and Mr. Chilu Lemba, we're saying goodbye. Au revoir.